Hey y'all, this is Jimbo from Jimbo Shit Show. Same shit, different day. Coming to you live from my palatial back porch. Try to sit out here when it's not so humid. We've had a few thunderstorms and kept me inside for a while, but I decided to get out and make a video today. So, have you ever asked yourself a question? Who am I? What am I? Kind of sounds like a stupid question, right? But it comes more at home when you're retired. For 40 years, I traveled up and down the roads, United States, Canada, and who I was a modern day cowboy when I started. I traveled the roads. Wherever I laid my head was my home, as the song goes. I didn't know how much of that life would haunt me after I retired. I thought it would be easy to let it go, but it hasn't been. I'm wondering how many of you guys out there have been in a job for so long that you forgot who you were. When I was growing up, my family was in the construction business. My dad worked for my grandfather, and I worked for my grandfather from the time I was 5 years old, doing whatever he told me to do. And I always thought, when I grow up, I'm going to be a carpenter. I'm going to work for granddaddy. And that was a reality until my junior year of high school. My grandfather passed away, and Dad went to work for the state, and I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. So went to work for some other people. Just, if you've ever worked for family, you know how it is. You know, it was just a whole different vibe working for other people. And it's not that I wasn't a worker. I didn't know what they wanted out of me, what they expected, or what I was in somebody else's job classification. For years I just did whatever my grandpa told me to do, and that's all I knew how to do, and I was happy. But later on, I decided I needed to do something with my life, and if it wasn't going to be a carpenter, I wanted to run heavy equipment. So I thought the best way to do that was get in the Army somehow. I didn't want to sign up for 4 years in regular duty. I thought the easiest way would be go into the reserves and learn my trade and come out and use that education as a way to get a job. But it didn't turn out that way either. They taught me the basics, and as far as skills, I had minimum skills and knew how to operate a bunch of different equipment. I just didn't have enough experience in anything for anybody to consider me for a job. So I bounced around for a little while, and one year I worked for a friend of mine. His parents were, his dad was a bricklayer, and his brothers were bricklayers, and they needed help one summer, and I was like, okay. Well, I didn't know what I was in for. It was the hardest job that I've ever done in my life. I mixed the cement. I pushed the cement around to wherever their scaffolding was. I kept them supplied in bricks and blocks or whatever they needed. And at the end of one day, I came home. My hands were bleeding because they were raw from handling those concrete blocks. I had concrete dust all over me. And I sat down in my lounge chair and had a ice cold beer. And I'm watching the TV and a commercial comes on, and I never will forget it. Some guy driving a Corvette and had nothing to do with truck driving. But the commercial was, you too can earn the big money and drive the big rigs. And he's going to play tennis in a Corvette. You know, that was the commercial. Well, sucked me in, I guess. I had a couple of friends that drove trucks, and I was like, okay, I can do that. And they actually had a going away party for me when I got my first job. And little did I know that that's what it was. It was a going away party. Because to my friends that are out there that are truck drivers, you know what life is like out there. It's not a job. It's your life. It becomes your life. You chase that dollar because what else can you do to make that kind of money? And the first few years, they're exciting. I mean, you go places. For me, I would maybe get down to Florida on a spring break or a family vacation, or I'd go see my aunt in Ohio. So I was not well traveled. When I got in that truck, I went to places that I'd only read about, dreamed about, saw on TV. And it was pretty interesting. But right off the bat, when I started driving, I was 27, and I had a wife, and pretty soon I realized that she just was not going to go for this, and I came home, and I got a job driving a box truck home every day. And I don't remember what they paid me back then. It wasn't much, but I was home every day. But as she says, I had diesel in my veins by that time. I was hooked, and I wanted back out on the road. And finally, she relented and agreed to let me do it. And I'll have to say, she was really good about it. She had a sister and a brother-in-law that she relied on, and my niece, and my family. So it wasn't like she was alone. And there for a while in the summertime, she would go with me, and it was pretty good life for a while. But 40 years down the road, 2 failed marriages. I really haven't talked much about why I left, but one Saturday morning I woke up and I was assigned to a tour. We did country music tours for the most part, and I was going to be gone for 7 months on this tour. And I just said to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. And yeah, it was a great gig as far as driving goes. It was just 40 years of being on the road and living under a schedule and doing what somebody else wanted me to do, and my life was just going. I could see that there was a possibility I would die out on the road somewhere. I mean, I had 2 stents in my heart, diabetes, high blood pressure. You don't sleep good, you don't eat good, you're not taking care of yourself. And the neuropathy in my feet was getting to a point where it was hard to feel the brake and the gas, which you guys know. I mean, I could feel still, but I could tell that I was being impaired. And when you're on tours and everything is as close as it is, I didn't think I was safe anymore. And not only that, I was 68 years old, and I felt like I was making mistakes that I hadn't made before. And I don't know. I mean, I just saw the writing on the wall. I didn't want to be a danger to anybody around me, and I wanted to experience life outside of trucking. So that's what I did. I just walked away from it. My name's Jimbo, in case you guys haven't seen any of my other videos. I hope you will watch this one and watch my other videos. And yeah, I call it the shit show for a good reason. And so anyway, here's what I'm experiencing right now, and I know that some of you guys are too. You take the schedule away from me, and I don't know what to do with myself. I mean, the freedom, that's nice, but if you've got something to do, that's good too. But I'm waking up at 2:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. I try to get up around between 7 and 8, make my breakfast, and figure out what I'm going to do for the day. Now, granted, it's only been a few weeks, and I'm still trying to get my ducks in a row as far as the Medicare and the insurance and everything that goes along with that. But I haven't talked much about it. When I got married the second time, I had a child with my wife, and my daughter is 15. And so, you know, I became a father and a husband and the money earner in the family, and my job took me away from them for a long time. And then I finally did get a job with the company where I could be home every day, but I drove all night. So I slept during the day. I would see them in the evening before work, and then I'd go out. And, you know, maybe they saw me a little bit more. I don't know if you call it quality time or not. We would have dinner every night. That was good, and we'd get to talk, and that was good. And I'd maybe shoot around some basketball with my daughter, or go for a walk, take the dog for a walk, something like that. That was good. And I enjoyed every minute of being a father. But then here's the thing. I had been gone most of our marriage, and then I was home. And that changed the way she saw me. And, you know, there were other things. I mean, I'm going to take a lot of the blame. You get so damned independent when you're out there on the road by yourself, and you get so opinionated about things, and it's hard for somebody to tell you what to do or suggest something for you to do or change something about you. You know, you're set in your ways, and it just it didn't work. And so I thought the best thing was for me to just move out, is what I did, and I've been out of the house for like 4 years or so. But that added to the problem when I left the house and when I retired. I just don't feel like I'm any part of my daughter's life. I mean, it just took that connection that we had away, me moving out of the house. And I know there's a lot of you fathers out there that know that that's true. I mean, one day you're daddy, and the next day you're living somewhere else, and they don't look at you like daddy anymore, not in the same way anyway. And so I thought about a lot about who I was before I started driving the truck. And then I became somebody else different when I started driving the truck. And now I got out of that truck, and that life is gone, and I wanted it gone. But who am I now is the question. And a lot of you guys are going to run into that same question. I don't know. I don't know if it makes a difference to you, but who I was very job related. You know, it's funny, when I was born, my middle name was Michael. So everybody at home knows me as Mike. I didn't become Jimbo until I got out in the truck. It's kind of my alter ego, I guess. But I'm struggling with it, guys. I I have looked into a little part-time work gig, but to tell you the truth, it's just been a few weeks, and I used to always say my body will tell me what it wants, because I'm so used to knowing what my limits are. I would stretch my limits when I was driving that truck. I'd put in hours and hours and hours of work. And the mental strain of being up for so many hours on end all week long will take its toll on you. And you never get used to that kind of work. I just happen to be good at it. Um, and that's something else. My job, I was good at it, and I got respect, and I felt like people respected me. Now I don't feel anything. I mean, I'm sitting out here on this deck, and it's a Friday, and I'm looking at this whole back row of apartments, and there's nobody out here. And when I go inside, it's just me. Uh, and so I try to do things, a few things to keep me busy. But you know, I hear people they say, my dream when I retire is to travel. Well, I'll tell you guys something. If you don't know it already, uh, drive around the subdivision one day and see how many RVs are in the driveway or how many boats are in the driveway. Uh, there's a lot of things that sound good when you say it, but the actuality of it, uh, first of all, traveling in an RV is expensive. And second of all, after a while, you run into the same problems that I'm running now. You get somewhere and it's like, what do we do? You pull into an RV park and you pay your lot rent and you sit somewhere and then you go out and eat or maybe see some of the sights or whatever. But uh, like for me, I could maybe see being like a snowbird. If you guys don't know what that is, uh, well, I look at it as when people here in Kentucky, when the weather starts getting colder and all the leaves are off the trees and it looks ugly up here, people head to Florida and spend the winter in Florida. Uh, Maybe I could do something like that, but I've tried living in Florida twice full time, and it's funny, living and working in Florida is different than being on vacation in Florida. And when I was younger and somebody would say such and such is retired or whatever, I would see them out in their backyard. Maybe they were working in their garden. Their lawns were immaculate, of course. The house looked immaculate, but they were home every day, and they got old fast. And I feel like my body right now is telling me, okay, you don't have to be on that schedule anymore. Just rest. Because right now, in the middle of the afternoon, I fight like hell uh, from taking a nap. I have the biggest urge to take a nap. And a lot of times the urge wins, and I'll go upstairs and I'll sleep for a couple of hours, and by that time it's dinner time, and time goes by fast. You fix dinner and then it's evening and it starts getting dark, and then you just start it all over again. But I used to say when I drove a truck, one day ran into the other, and it does. But it goes by a lot faster when you're working than when you're just sitting here wondering what to do. And that's another thing. If you're planning on retiring, see what your options are. Think about what you would do if you had the time to do it. Now, I'm a really good, what I call a putterer. I like to, I can get in the shop and I can have one project or another and go from one thing to another. And I enjoy that. but there's only so many projects, and you really got to have your mind into it sometimes. And sometimes I find myself, I'll just sit on the couch, flip channels, watch YouTube, watch the news, eat. Uh, and I think right now my body doesn't know what to do. It's adjusting, but I don't like the way it's adjusting. I don't like, I feel like I'm wasting my days. I feel like I feel guilty. Um, but I really don't want to work anymore. I did for a short time after I quit driving. I got a warehouse job operating a forklift and loading trucks, and it didn't take me long to figure out that I didn't want to do that. For one thing, I'm a truck driver. Any of my buddies out there that have driven a truck for any amount of years will know that's what you are. That's what you become, and anything else it just doesn't get it. And it wasn't that they paid me a pretty good amount, I mean, I think almost $25 an hour. Uh, and we worked overtime, but I had to drive an hour to my job, hour two. Sometimes it was an hour and a half back in the traffic. I had to get up at like 4:30 in the morning, and all the people I worked with were way younger than me. I didn't have that same amount of respect that I did when I was in the truck. And I mean, they wanted to work me just like they would a kid, and I just wasn't into I wasn't into that. I mean, it's not that I'm lazy. It was just, I put in my dues. I'm 68. I've worked, and I've worked longer and harder than I imagine most of them ever have or ever will. And I knew that I just couldn't do that, so I just decided to retire. Now, the retirement, uh, you're going to run into so many things that you never considered, and you should sit down with a pen and a paper and write down what you expect retirement to be and what you need to do that, and even try to live that retirement thing. Say you want to do this project or that project, or you want to go out in the garage, or you want to have a garden or something. Try that and see if that's really what you want, because a lot of things sound good until you do them. It's just like people that have a boat or an RV. Yeah, that idea was good until I bought the damn thing, and then it wasn't so good. Uh, I really don't know what my perfect retirement is. As far as, ever getting married again, I don't know. It feels like I'm not complete anymore. Well, I don't have a family anymore is the way I look at it. And that would that that would help if that was still the case and I was retired and I had them. Uh, but now that I don't have them, do I want to start all over in a new relationship? And who knows? Retirement is not what you think it is. And I don't know how many people actually are enjoying the retirement. And it's not about money either, although I will say, when you get that last paycheck from work, which I got my last little paycheck, and then I realized I'm not getting any more paychecks. I'm on my Social Security. I have a 401k that I converted, and somewhere down the road I'll have the house when it's sold. Um, but I went to the grocery today. I'm on a budget. Uh, when I was driving that truck, I was making several $1,000s a week. I did not think about how I spent my money. I bought what I wanted when I wanted it, and I did what I wanted when I had time to do it. And that's a kind of a bad situation to get into because, when I was single, after I left the house, I spent a lot of wasted money on things that I thought I would enjoy. I've got a motorcycle in the garage right now. Uh, yes, I ride it, but I don't ride it regular. Uh, And funny thing is, I made a video one day about my second week of retirement or something, and I went for a bike ride in the country. That turned out to be my most popular video, and I was kind of worried because, you know, I'm not really the biker guy. I'm the truck driver guy that has a motorcycle that enjoys riding, and I used to, at one time, I used to race motorcycles. Motocross, if I had a sport that I have a passion for, motocross is my sport. And I like to watch football on TV. And I've got several hobbies. I love vintage stereos. Back during COVID, I bought a bunch of old stereos for resale. You know, back then everybody had money to burn. And I sold a lot of stuff on eBay, and rather enjoyed that. But now I've got like 3 or 4 different stereo setups sitting around that going to waste. My daughter and I took online guitar lessons, so I've got a couple of guitars that I could sit around and play, but I don't. I'm into music. I have been all my life. I'm a music fanatic. I've got everything. You know, I think the only thing for some reason that I don't really like listening to is jazz. That kind of grinds my teeth a little bit. It sounds like notes that don't belong together. But you know, I even listen to some rap. You know, I mean, I've got a little bit of everything. But you know, living in Kentucky, I started a little bourbon collection, and I've got an old trunk that I've converted into a liquor cabinet that I'm playing around with, and I'll show you some pictures of that. And so yeah, you know, I started this YouTube thing as something to do, and I actually thought that it might be interesting for a lot of you guys. I guess that's all on me to make it interesting. And I don't know if I've been doing my job or not. I know I've watched YouTube for a long time, and I never made any videos, and then I did. And I started with another channel. I had an old 68 Bronco that I was going to tear down and build over again, and I ended up selling that Bronco. So anyway, you know, life right now is not how I pictured. I don't give up. I will make something of this life. I'm working on it, guys. But I need you guys. I need you guys to watch, and I need you guys to subscribe. And I don't know whether you guys know anything about it or not. You probably wouldn't if you don't make videos. But YouTube used to have a pretty easy way to be able to make some money off of this. You could, with a few requirements, you could get on here and you could make pretty good money. But recently they doubled their qualifications to get to do that. You know, and here I am just starting this channel, and they've already raised the bar, and they're changing all the rules come February. So I've got till February for this channel to make or break before they double everything. And but I'm not going to give up on it. I know they say they have to find an audience for everything to take off, but you guys listen to this. Me and my girlfriend, we watch a lot of cooking shows, how to cook. You know, I live in the South, so, you know, I want to learn how to make this and that, and I'll watch cooking shows. But the other day I watched a video, and it was like, and I'm not calling out this lady, bless her heart. She's 91 years old. She lives alone, and apparently her channel is how she makes cheap meals. Okay. So she did a video on how to make a warm, not a fried, but a warm bologna sandwich. Now, I watched that video, okay? I watched that video. That lady got 143,000 views, okay? I've got a video out there right now that has been up 7 or 8 days that has got 1 view. I know I'm better than that. I don't know what it takes. I don't know if people just want to watch videos about cooking. Maybe it's the name of the show. I'll tell you something else. 100% of my viewers are male, it says. I don't know whether the name The Shit Show turns them off, but at the time I was thinking of a name for this channel, things were a shit show. My life was in a turmoil before then and after then and since then and now, and I don't think that's going to change for a while. And you know, I mean, I have good days and I have bad days, but right now old Jimbo's struggling, and I'd like to make something of this channel, if nothing else, to make a community where there's people that can get on here and chat with each other. Maybe at one point I'll go live. Maybe at some point meet and greets. You know, I'm not going to give up that motorcycle until I just can't ride it anymore. You know, I know my grandmother. They finally had to take the car away from her. I suppose I'm going to be like that. But I think she said one time, as long as she had a brain, she was going to do for herself. So I guess that's Jimbo's model. As long as I got a brain, y'all leave me alone. I guess that's kind of open-ended to who thinks I have a brain or not. But anyway. So anyway, I'm going to continue on making more videos. I hope you guys watch. I hope that we can find a way to make the retirement years. I don't believe in the golden years. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, guys, but it's got to be better than this. I'm not going to be sitting up at McDonald's drinking coffee every morning with some people I don't know. You know, I want to kind of be a guide of how to get through this. I want you guys to believe that there's a way that you can be happy. I know happiness is different for everybody. And I know I fluctuate between what I think makes me happy. You know, back in the day, a lot of the things that I thought would make me happy did not. You know, when I bought a boat, I thought I'd be happy. When I got a new truck, I thought I'd be happy. When I got a car, I thought I'd be happy. And, you know, the newness wears off and the payment hits you, and, you know, I don't know. I think it's going to have to be something that's inside deep that makes me happy. So anyway, guys, I'm going to cut this video off. I've talked enough. I hope you guys watch and comment, and I hope to hear from you. Everybody have a good weekend, and Jimbo out.